Good day, my name is Francois Knowles. My team and I are at an auction facility in Bella Bella. We're with André Kock Seuns today. We are going to take a journey through the processes at the auction. We would like to tell the story about the role of APAC in the industry, what we do at auctions, and how we make sure that we regulate the agents in a proper way and that there's a proper focus on biosecurity for all animals that are sold through this auction facility. I just want to take this opportunity to really appreciate the SAPS, the stock theft unit. We find them at all the auctions in South Africa. They've got a very specific role to play in terms of the Stock Theft Act. We absolutely need them to make sure that our auctions are the best that they can be, that there's no stolen animals coming through here, and they fulfill that role. We say thank you to you for your service. Really appreciate it. I'm with Etienne. This is a proper spray booth. If you look at the intensity of how they spray and the sprayers that they use, they make very, very sure that the truck and all the animals are sprayed. This is to prevent the contamination of this beautiful auction facility. Etienne, thank you very much for the work that you do. Thank you for your dedication in this industry. It's really appreciated, because if you don't do this, there will definitely be a risk at this auction. We don't regard this as an auction with risk. We look at your processes. These things are audited, and we can just say thank you to you and your team for the work that you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Francois. You're more than welcome.
Today we are going to look at the process going through the auction. We're going to address two things. We're going to do the ethical approach in terms of how we regulate livestock agents, and we're also going to talk about biosecurity. That is very important and an aspect that APAC also regulates. This is the start of the process. This is where animals are offloaded, and we will be going step by step through the whole process to make sure that we inform everybody as to what is happening and as to what is supposed to happen at auctions. The start of traceability is right here. The documentation that we receive from farmers have to comply to the Stock Theft Act, and specifically in terms of Section 6 documentation. This is what is captured here, amongst others. We also look at the ethical approach in the way that farmers and livestock agents do business, and this is where it starts. Looking at the documentation, we have traceability from where the farmers supply the auction, also in terms of the health certificate. Those are all documents that we receive at this point. Very, very important, very crucial, and we appreciate the fact that it's done in a proper way at this specific auction. I'm standing with Alfred. Alfred is the biosecurity practitioner at this auction. Alfred is responsible to mouth each of these animals, and it's important to note that each of these animals are checked. This is one of the very important protocols that we follow to determine foot and mouth disease. If you do find something, then such an animal will be separated and we will stop the whole process. Alfred, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Show us, please, what you do with this animal specifically. So what we saw there was an inspection in progress. Physically, what Alfred and his team does, they're looking for lesions, they're looking for anything that is visible and anything that can tell us that there's a problem with foot and mouth. Alfred, thank you very much for the amazing work you do for André Kock Seuns and working with you. I want to shake your hand, but you are too sticky. Okay, it's important to note that if any animals are identified as possibly suspicious or something that is picked up by the animal inspection that's done through the biosecurity practitioner, then those animals will be diverted to a quarantine area. A quarantine area is specifically designed for that purpose, to place the animals in an area away from the normal flow. However, it's important to note that if foot and mouth disease is identified or suspected, then the auction will be stopped. So there's many protocols in place at livestock auctions. We make sure that these processes are followed. We've got a very specific framework that was designed in conjunction with our livestock auctioneers. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that we curb and that we address foot and mouth and the spread of reportable animal diseases in South Africa. We are on a walkway in the biosecure area of this auction. These animals that we see around us are all classified as biosecure safe. They've been through the process, they've been mouthed, they've been looked at by the biosecurity practitioner, and these animals are now ready to be sold. Any animals that do not make the grade will be quarantined and they will be separated from the animals that we want to sell. And that, in short, is the process that leads up to the preparation of selling these animals at the auction facility. So the importance of a walkway is to have a bird's eye view of the animals that will be sold. We absolutely don't want people to be in contact with the animals. It allows them to be clean, there's no contamination. So having a bird's eye view allows you to still have a look at the animals in a decent way. We will be joining the live auction shortly. It's important to just reiterate the fact that livestock agents are regulated by APAC in terms of ethical rules. Ethical rules simply mean that we make sure that the processes that are followed are accurate, they are according to the legislative framework of APAC, and that we make sure that our farmers out there, the very farmers that use the aggregated services of livestock auctioneers, that they are looked after. The role of APAC is much wider than only cattle. We also look after all other cloven-hooved animals. This includes goats, sheep, everything that you see around us. Of course, all the biosecurity protocols and rules that we enforce apply across the border to all these animals. We also regulate ostriches, who knew? And on top of that, we also regulate game. So our reach and our span is much wider than just cattle. We obviously look after this industry to make sure that the biosecurity rules apply to all these animals. And that is important as a second level of protection for the industry at auctions. Most importantly, that the first level of biosecurity must always be at farm level. When we receive animals at auctions, we always require an animal health attestation. In short, that is a health certificate to indicate that the animals that we receive at auctions are safe. The truth of the matter, in South Africa, we are confronted with foot and mouth disease currently. It's taken on massive proportions, and we really need to do something about this. We published biosecurity rules in 2020. That was specifically aimed at enhancing and protecting the livestock industry value chain. Thinking about this now, it would have been wise to make it much wider at that point in time. We regarded livestock auctions as the main priority, and that's why it was only focused at livestock auctions. We think that that might have been an oversight. However, we are in the crisis. We need to deal with that crisis, and from livestock agents and the perspective of APAC, we've done so much to this point in time, and we regard that as sufficient for now. Going forward, I think we are working with all our livestock agents in South Africa. We have got 259 livestock facilities. We are working to enhance them and to make sure that they are all under the rules. That is really important. We at APAC will make sure that we enhance this as far as we can. We will work with our agents and we will work to find proper solutions going forward. From APAC, we see a very bright future. Farmers, we honor you in the work that we do. We know you are so important and so crucial for food security and specifically food safety in this regard. And we at APAC realize that we need to work so much harder to look after you. We thank the industry, we thank all the role players, and we honor every farmer today that works in this beautiful industry.